You are Locked On Phillies Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome into the show, everybody. You're Locked On Sports Philadelphia, Locked On Phillies Postcast. My name is Mark Farzetta. Just lovely to have you along for the ride as the Phillies get the walk-off Trea Turner base knock to get past the Nationals 3-2. Now, some might say, it's a one-run win over the Nationals. You shouldn't have blown it, Carlos Estevez. You know what? I say hogwash and poppycock, ladies and gentlemen. You need a win. You got to win. You're third in a row. And we all know what we call that, a winning streak. Welcome in once again to the show. My name is Mark Farzetta. Thanks for making Locked On Sports Philadelphia, Locked On Phillies Postcast your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts, as well as on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. This particular episode brought to you by Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/lockedon, all lowercase, for your first deposit match up to $100. Trea Turner gets 4 hits on the evening. Trea Turner on fire, although it's been 2 games since the day off. We'll dissect that, don't you worry. I was told that days off don't work. I was told team meetings don't work. Looks like they've worked rather well for a team that couldn't do anything right. They have certainly done a lot right over the last couple of games. 3 games in a row, as a matter of fact. So, there you go. We'll also get into Nick Castellanos, JT Realmuto's night. Bryson Stott with one heck of a play at second base to save a run for Aaron Nola. And you just couldn't get one more out. Couldn't get one more out for Aaron Nola. Aaron Nola couldn't get Aaron Nola one more out. I had a little bit of an issue when he was taken out. I wanted to see him finish it, and I was really hoping he'd finish it. And then he got up to 111 pitches, and it didn't look like he was going to finish it. He was not exactly finding the strike zone with great authority at that point in the 7th inning. But they went for it. I even said earlier in the week, I said, you know what? You're set up right now after getting a win where Tyler Phillips started, and Tyler Phillips did not pitch particularly well. You still won that game. And then yesterday, of course, you have Zach Wheeler go out there. We didn't do the show. We had Eagles Postcast and Miss Scoozy. I wanted to talk baseball with you. We had to talk football. That's just what we do. However, last night, Zach Wheeler went out there, dominant. Phillies, Weston Wilson hits for the cycle. Phillies were amazing. They win 13-3. They carry that into this game, at least from a pitching standpoint. Not so much a hitting standpoint, as they must have just 3 games and needed the bottom of the 9th inning to do that. Excuse me. All in all, very impressed by the resiliency I saw from the Phillies tonight. And Brandon Marsh is at bat in the bottom of the 9th inning. Brandon Marsh has come up extremely small in those situations, and he did everything right. Cal Stevenson went up there, laid down a bunt. I'm sorry. What is this, 1973? Laying down bunts over here? What's going on there? But he laid down a bunt. He got first and third. The Phillies took advantage from that point on, including Trea Turner getting his 4th hit of the night. Let's get to it. 3 big things as we do each and every show. I'm saving Turner for last. I'm going to start it off with Nola as number 3. Nola had not been pitching well. 8 runs in his last 2 starts. Not exactly great outings there from Aaron Nola. But he goes out there tonight, and for the most part, like he started that 7th inning, and he was at 89 pitches. So you wanted to see him get through that 7th inning quickly. And that didn't happen. No, that didn't happen even a little bit. Finished tonight at 111 pitches, as I mentioned. But all in all tonight, you saw a very good brand of pitching from Aaron Nola. 6 2/3, scoreless, did give up 7 hits, but the Phillies kept finding their way out of those hits. Not a lot of ground ball double plays going on here for Aaron Nola. Only had, I believe it was 1 ground ball double play in the game. And as the game kept going on, you saw 7 hits, courtesy of Aaron Nola. 2 walks were issued. He did strike out 4, but bottom line is when he needed to get out of a jam, he got out of a jam. Something I thought that was interesting from Nola tonight, the knuckle curve, he was able to get over, but he wasn't really using it that much as a put-away pitch. And especially in that 7th inning, you saw him try to go to that well, and it was not happening for him. He threw it to Trea. Trea was able to hold off of it in that long at bat that ended up in a walk. Young saw it. He was able to get a double later in that at bat with the double to center field. So you didn't really see him use that knuckle curve with that great kind of bite on it that we normally see from Aaron Nola. What he was doing phenomenally well, and he used it as his not necessarily put away pitch, but get out of a jam pitch, was that vintage two-seamer, that vintage sinker that had phenomenal run on it tonight. Just had guys spinning around. And the one time he was able to get out of that a little bit of a jam was in that first inning where he hit Abrams, gave up the walk to Wood. They already had one out in the inning. He had first and third with one out, and that's where he got Chaparro to go up there and ground into the 6-4-3 double play, needing 15 pitches, just 15 pitches, despite two base runners in that first inning. And then from that point on, Nola settled in rather nicely. He gave up hits here and there, but continuously found his way out of that jam. Young is the batter I'm thinking of. In the second inning, Nola threw him a two-seamer that tailed in back across the plate, and Young had no idea what to do with it. It was the third pitch at the at-bat, and he sat him down looking at that sinker away. Beautiful. Cut back in beautifully on the outside half of the plate for his, I think it was his second strikeout of the game, so that was great to see. And then he got Abrams to line out to right field. Phillies were able to put up some runs there in the bottom of the third inning, and that takes us to number 2. So number 3, looking at Nola's performance. Number 2, Nick Castellanos and JT Realmuto. Nick Castellanos has got it going for quite some time. He's had it going for quite some time. I mean, you're talking about a guy now since I believe it's June, July, August. Okay, so June, July, and now August. He has hit 275, 276, and now I believe is at 304 for the month of August. Driving in runs, hitting home runs, and he has been every ounce of Nick Castellanos that started out the season last year that made an all-star team for the Philadelphia Phillies. Obviously didn't make that all-star team this year, but he has been dialed in, locked in over the last 3.5 months of this, or the last 2.5 months of the season. And I am here for that every step of the way. JT Realmuto struggling mightily as of late. To see him come up there, work a walk today, get some good contact, and including that base hit that he had for the second run of the Phillies game today, that was something special. I know it's a brief 5-game hitting streak now for him, but I'll take it. I will take it time and time again. Whatever gets his confidence back at a big level, I will take time and time again from JT Realmuto. To see him go out there with that kind of consistency and swinging a good bat, that's what you want to see from BCB. Best catcher in baseball, and a couple of throwouts tonight. I mean, I could reference the hitting of Nick Castellanos and JT Realmuto tonight, but JT gunning down 2 runners on the base paths as well. If I had to choose between the two of them for my number 2, it would be JT Realmuto, thanks to his defense as well, because he was phenomenal on the defensive side of things as well. Number 1, obviously. Let me just put this in perspective for Trea Turner, okay? Okay. Trea Turner, in his 11 games leading up to the day off that wasn't going to work, day off. Oh, we need a day off for. What good's that going to do? In the 11 games leading up to the day off, he had 8 hits. In the 11 games in the month of August that he had played in, 11 games leading into the day off, 8 hits. In the last 2 games since the day off, Trea Turner has 7 hits. I'm going to go ahead and say that Trea Turner had that day off. That suited him pretty well. I did catch him for a second doing his little interview there after the game, and he did say that that day off wasn't really a day off. He was actually in the cage. He was hitting. He did a lot of hitting. Get back to basics. Be able to clear your mind, step away from the game for a second, come back the next day, bada boom, bada bing, and making things happen. Love to see that from Trea Turner. 2 games since, now 7 hits. And to see him go up there in that final at-bat of the game, see the patience at the plate, see him foul off a pitch or 2. He goes up there, he gets 7 pitches. He sees 7 pitches. Takes the splitter from Finnegan for strike 1, sees ball 1 out of the zone for another splitter, fouls away another splitter, gets the fastball, watches that miss outside. Then he fouls off 2 splitters. He waits on a slider, and he ropes it to left field. I thought he hit a home run. I thought this was going to be a grand slam. I thought this was going to be the grand slam moment for Trea Turner. But here's what went into it to cover the whole thing. Marsh goes up there, and I mentioned he had that great at bat. He gets a 3-1 count. You know you're going to get a fastball. Brandon Marsh is going to get that fastball. Finnegan gave him the fastball, and he tattooed it to the wall in right field. I was a little surprised because I know Marsh runs well, that he wasn't standing on second base at the time. But then Call, I don't know what the heck he was doing, but he threw an errant throw into the infield, and Marsh took full advantage, sprinted to second base, was able to get there, give a little shimmy there to the dugout, so you love to see that. Now you had a runner in scoring position with nobody out. Stevenson lays down the bunt, first and third, nobody out. Schwarber, they try pitching around. Nothing really happens there. They end up giving him the pass, and then Trea Turner steps up. There was really nothing the Nationals could have done in that situation. You're not going to just all of a sudden intentionally walk Kyle Schwarber. No, you tried pitching to him, didn't work out, then you let him on. You're not going to what? You have to pitch to Trea Turner. That's that. There's no way around it. And Trea Turner certainly delivered. 7 hits in his last 2 games. 8 hits in his previous 11 before the night off. I'm going to go ahead and say that it worked rather well. Love the fight. Love the tenacity from the Phils tonight. Would have liked to see a couple of more instances of the Phillies being able to get some runners around the bases and on home plate, but did not present itself, unfortunately, tonight. But that's why I refer to this series as a get-right series, a homestand. This homestand is a get-right homestand time and time again. That's why I refer to it in such a way, because the mistakes that you make tonight, you can't make against the Braves. You can't make even against the Mets. You can't make against the Brewers, who, by the way, got some awful news about Christian Yelich, who they're going to be missing for the remainder of the season. I believe it is with a back injury. You can't make those mistakes against the upper echelon team. You can't make them against the Dodgers, even though you've had the Dodgers number this year. Can't make it against the Astros. Can't make it against the Royals. All these teams that are just around the corner for the Phils. But you can make them against the Nationals. And you stack the wins. You stack the wins. And that's what the Phillies are doing right now. 72 wins for the Phillies this season. 72 wins. When we come back, there is one thing I really got to get into that I absolutely love tonight. It sort of had something to do with the game tonight, but it more had to do with what was going on in the booth. So we'll get to that. And we'll also break down that Bryson Stott defensive play that helped save a run for Aaron Nola and keep his outing scoreless. Back in a few, you're Locked On Sports Philadelphia and Locked On Phillies postcast. And, of course, we'll get your comments coming up in a few as well. Liquid IV. You guys are flying this summer. You guys have that last-minute trip maybe coming up for Labor Day, whatever the case might be. Oh, you need to bring that Liquid IV with you because you get dehydrated on the flight so quick. You get dehydrated so quick. Not just being in the air, but the rushing around you're doing. You just fill up your water bottle there at the airport. You bring that pouch of Liquid IV. You tear it off. You pour it. You're back in business, baby. Liquid IV. And when you're talking about America's pastime, you got to be thinking about hydration as well in the hot summer months. Liquid IV's popsicle firecracker flavor is something you got to try. It's a surefire summer hit. Get hydrated with electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients from the #1 powered hydration brand in America. Because baseball and summer go together like Liquid IV and indulgent hydration. Blast off with the iconic summer flavor of Popsicle Firecracker, a festive blend of citrus-fueled lemon lime, tart cherry, and raspberry flavors as well. Find all your favorite flavors on their website, from acai berry to they got the lemon lime, and if you like pina colada, you enjoy that as well. Tear, pour, live more. 1 stick and 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. Water alone, powered by LIP, Hydroscience, an optimized ratio of electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients that turn ordinary water into extraordinary hydration. 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, 8 essential vitamins and nutrients, always non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free. as well. No more thirsty summers when you indulge in hydration with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use promo code MLB at checkout. That's promo code MLB at checkout. 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code MLB at liquidiv.com. As I mentioned earlier, thank you for making us your first listen, and make sure that you guys are using your second listen with Locked On MLB Podcast. Host Paul Sullivan, also known as Sully, he's here daily to provide national expertise with his trademark humor to help you get ready for the MLB playoffs here in the dog days of summer. Prepare for the Fall Classic with Sully, who has it all covered every single day on Locked On MLB. Available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts, part of the Locked On Sports Network, your team every day. Couple of things. Maybe you caught it in the comments. Maybe you guys want to talk about, maybe not. I don't know. But maybe you caught it during the broadcast. The booth was on a fire. The booth was on fire tonight. Larry Boa told a story about how he and Greg, it's alumni weekend for those that don't know. So a lot of the alumni come in and they sit in the booth for a minute, and it's great. It's awesome. I love it. They had Carlos Ruiz throw out the first pitch to Brad Lidge. That was incredible. Lidge was in the booth as well, but what was fantastic was Boa's in the booth, and he's talking about, he tells a story about how, I think after he retired, David Montgomery, who they're putting on the Wall of Fame tomorrow, called Larry Bowa. He's like, hey, I want you to be here. I want you to go out there and I want you to be a sales rep. I want you to sell tickets for the Phillies. And Larry Bowa's like, yeah, okay, sure, I'll sell tickets. So Larry Bowa's cold calling people, being like, hey, how is it? We got some young stars coming up through the minors. And Bowa's like, I was lying my butt off. I didn't have any young stars coming up, And then he's like, yeah, me and Greg Luzinski both did it. And I don't know why my idiot brain, probably because I am an idiot, my idiot brain was like, David Spade, Chris Farley, Tommy Boy, but these two selling ticket packages to corporations in Philadelphia. Don't you want to come to the Phillies? Let's see what happens. You buy the other team's tickets. Let's see you driving along. Woo, la, la. You know what I'm saying? All right. So that's where my mind went with that. But Larry Bowa told a great story. If you missed it, it's fantastic. I'm sure it's on the net somewhere. Anyway, number two, just Ryan Howard, seeing him again. And he has slimmed down since playing. They referenced how much slimmer he looks. And his response was, you got to keep the missus interested. I thought that was a great line. I'll be stealing that. And then number three, Tom McCarthy, I thought was going to have to take a break from the broadcast booth. John Kruk, they just interviewed Brad Lidge, who's now an archaeologist. In case you didn't know that, Brad Lidge goes to Italy and digs in the dirt for ancient Roman artifacts. If I wasn't doing this, that's the other dream job. I'd just be digging. I've talked to Lidge about it before. He knows me in Philly as the dork that just wants to talk about archaeology and not so much about baseball. But anyway, so Brad Lidge is in the booth and he's talking about being an archaeologist, and he leaves. And then I think T-Mac said something along the lines of, that's pretty incredible. He's going for his doctorate in archaeology. How about that? And then they reference they're going to have Jamie Moyer in the booth. And Kruk goes, oh, what's Jamie Moyer going to be doing? Is he going to be doing archaeology? What's he going to be doing? And T-Mac says something along the lines of, yeah, he's going to be in he does his own thing all the time. Moyer does his own thing all the time. And then Kruk's response was, well, actually, Lidge is probably going to dig him up because Moyer is so old anyway. And I thought T-Mac's head was going to explode in the booth with laughter. And I'm laughing, sitting on my sofa, just dying. And this is the personality you need in that booth. That's why Kruk is a national treasure, ladies and gentlemen. So if you didn't catch the booth, it was a great booth tonight. Let's, Bryson Stott. I mentioned I was going to talk about Bryson Stott. So Bryson Stott, unfortunately, took the collar tonight. He was 0 for, well, he had a walk, but he was 0 for 3 tonight. Had some good wood placed on the baseball, but 0 for 3. In the fourth inning, Wood leads off with the infield single to third. Bohm couldn't make the throw to first, and Wood ran well, and that was the end of that. Then Nola gets Chaparro to go out there and strike out on a fastball. Again, not a curveball, not a knuckle curve. Then Ruiz gets a single to center field. You have first and second with 1 out. Then Nola gets a second strikeout in the inning. He strikes out Garcia looking at a sinker, another beautiful two-seamer that just had great run on it, left Garcia swinging out of defense, self-defense, or excuse me, bailing, trying to bail it out of the way, thinking that sinker was going to hit him. Then Yepez goes up there, and he grounds it at a 4-6 putout. Now, this was a hot shot up the middle, and Bryson Stott was in the right place at the right time, then put himself at a better place at a better time. Dove to his right, smothered the baseball, flipped the Trea Turner covering second for the third and final out of the inning. He doesn't make that play with 2 outs. At the time, it was a 2-0 game. That becomes a 2-1 game. Then all of a sudden, you might have a situation there where you got first and second with 2 outs, and maybe Nola doesn't find his way out of it. Maybe he finds himself into a little bit more trouble than that from that point on. But that great defensive play there by Bryson Stott was, I thought, the defensive play of the game. So good hustle to Stott on that one. Let's get your comments. I want to see what you guys have to say about this Phillies victory. And yes, that's right. They have won 3 in a row. Miles, what's going on? Here first. Go Phils. There you go, Miles. Go Phils, indeed. John, why leave Nola out there after he walked? Okay, yeah, John, you and I are on the same page. Let's look at that inning. So 7th inning. Nola's out there on the bump. He started the inning at 89 pitches. Garcia lines out to center field. Yepez steps up there. He pops out to first. Then Tena walks. He had a couple long at-bats in this game. Tena had a 10-pitch at-bat at one point. What, in the 5th inning he had that? Then Chaparro had a 9-pitch at-bat where he grounded out to third. Wood was caught stealing in that. That was one of JT's great throws to second to catch Wood stealing. And then in the 7th inning, he gets the first 2 outs of the inning. So you're thinking he's good to go. Then Tena works that walk. Young hits the double. 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs. They bring in Strahm. Strahm gets called a fly out to right field on a 4-pitch at bat. Strahm finds himself in a little bit of trouble in the 8th inning, but they slammed the door thanks to Jeff Hoffman taking over. But yeah, in that 7th inning, I don't remember how long that at bat was to Tena. I thought it was Tenya, but there's no like accent, the tilde, if you hablo español. Anyway, but deep 7th inning. Oh, he walked on 7 pitches. So yeah, it was a 7-pitch at bat. Yeah, when that happens, you probably just want to get out of that. And then he gave up the double. Oh, and that's the other thing. Young, he was up in the count to Young 0-2. Up in the count, then he threw the sinker. He fouled it away. Threw the knuckle curve. Again, couldn't get it as the punch out. It was too low in the zone. Then he threw the 4-seamer high in the zone, and that's when Young put it into center field for the double. And that was that. But good point there, John. I'm with you. No third day of hello to Mark. Today I say, what's up, IBH? Oh, there you go, Sir Sketchable. Say hi to everybody. IBH, what's going on? Morgan Landy, why can't we have nice things? Charlie Sheen, you blew it. Yeah, if there was a negative, that was a negative, unfortunately. Morgan, we all know Charlie is buying drinks tonight. Better buy 2 for Trey. He's earned it. I was getting a bit heated at first when they kept stranding runners at third. Yeah, Mike Evans. It's a good point. How many did they leave on tonight? 11 on base tonight. Jeez Louise. 5 for 10 with runners in scoring position. But 11 runners were left on base. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. It's definitely bad. 2nd inning, Stott got his walk on a 9-pitch at bat, was up 1-2 in the count. Wilson strikes out. Rojas got credited for an infield single, even though that was BS. That was totally an error. But they gave him credit for the single in that. Yet 1st and 3rd, 2 outs. Schwarber grounded out on the comebacker to Corbin, and that was that. Phillies finally got some. Oh, 1st inning as well. Turner had the lead, had the 1-out single. Bohm had a 2-out single. Little blooper. 1st and 3rd, 2 outs. Castellanos on a 2-0 pitch, offered at a cutter. And I think he fouled it. I think he flew out to right, maybe. But that was that. Yeah, the Phillies forced a 30-pitch 2nd inning for Corbin, but couldn't cash in. 3rd inning, that's when they cashed in. That's when they got Castellanos with a 2-out RBI single. Real Muto with another 2-out RBI single. After Castellanos stole second, here I am breaking his chops for always being so damn slow. He ran pretty well there, and it was a 2-0 ball game. But yeah, 11 guys on base. That's bad. Oh, Freezer, what's going on? We'll take it. Heck yeah. I'm just going to call you D-boy, because I'm not going to pronounce that for people that. Anyway, every time we win, we peel a piece off. Greg, what's going on? Trey. Farsley, we're back, baby. Like Jack Parkman, like Pedro Serrano, like Ricky Vaughn. We never left. Let's go. Thank you for working in as many Major League references as humanly possible. Trey hitting is what the team needed. Heck yeah, crazy. Oh, Farsley can't pitch the bar, says he's back. There you go. Bring it on, Farsley. Brandon Kelly, are they back? I'm not saying they're back yet. I mean, look, they're back to beating crappy teams. So I'll be excited that they're back to beating crappy teams. That's what I'm happy that they're back to beating crappy teams. Now they got to do it against the Braves. Now they got to do it against the Royals. They got to do it against the Astros. That's what I want to see. MPTR, MLB is fundamentally wrong if Nola can pitch 7 shutout innings, 6 2/3, and Estevez can't pitch 1 inning, blow the lead, and gets the win. That is what is messed up. I'm sorry. If that's your point, I agree. That is weird as hell. Like if everything else is like judgment calls, like errors, for instance, in baseball, I feel like they should choose who gets the win. Who matters more? I feel like Elaine and Seinfeld. It shouldn't be based on who came here first. It should be based on who's hungriest. My brain's all over the place tonight. My apologies. 824, why was the meeting done weeks ago? Ow. I wish I could tell you. Great bounce back start for Nola. He deserved the win. Johnson Wall, I agree. Okay, GB. Great win, but I hope the offense does better tomorrow and Sunday. So do I. Buddy Christ. They have a tough schedule coming up next week-ish. Good to get the wins against these teams. Yeah, I agree. Bam Man 100, inches away from a grand slam. Trea Turner, yes, he was inches away from a grand slam. Why are we calling SD Charlie Sheen? Well, because his name is Carlos Estevez. And Charlie Sheen's real name, I don't know if it's Carlos, but Charlie, yeah? Like Emilio Estevez, or Estevez, as I grew up saying in my Mighty Ducks fandom. But there you go. Oh, is Charlie Sheen's real name Carlos? I did not know that. Lo siento. Lo siento. Farsi is like a lemonade, but sports? Limonade? What is happening? Do we have the best record in the National League? Yeah, I think you went into tonight with the best record in the National League. Looking at the scores, the Dodgers are winning right now, top of the 9th inning over the Cardinals. Sorry, Ari. Dodgers are up 7-6. Brew Crew is in the top of the 9th inning. They're leading the Guardians. Braves are up 2-0 on the Angels. Scusi. And there you go. And there you go. And the New York Metropolitans are another team. They beat the Marlins earlier tonight, 7-3. Oh, is he? He's a meme YouTuber? I'll have to look him up. He's basically you, but meme. It's funny. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful as per usual. When we come back, we're going to take a look at where the Phillies are headed after this. Hopefully more of the same, just with more hits and more runs. We'll talk about that when we come back. Locked On Sports Philadelphia, Locked On Phillies postcast. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about Prize Picks. Prize Picks is a good time. Have you downloaded Prize Picks yet? If you haven't, what are you waiting for? Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prize Picks is the easiest, most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. And unlike other apps on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. And all you got to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. For me, I took more than 2 hits with Trea Turner. Hit it. And then I also had Aaron Nola less than 2 runs. Hit it. Good night for me on Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app. Have yourself a great time. Get in on the daily action with all your friends and become part of the Prize Picks community today. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You could turn $10 into $1,000. And if you're looking for promotions, Prize Picks has got you covered every week. From lowering select player stat projections on Tuesdays to help your lineup hit, or getting your entry fees back if you have a losing lineup on Fridays. So you have a chance to win that money back. Download the Prize Picks app today and use promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. That's promo code LOCKEDONMLB on Prize Picks for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's just that easy with Prize Picks. All right, so this is where things get a little bumpy. Okay? That's where things get a little bumpy for the Phils. So the Phillies are in this situation now where they've won 3 in a row. It's kind of been a minute since their last 4-game winning streak. At 72-50, they are still the best record in baseball. Things will get underway a little bit earlier tomorrow night. So they say, 6:05 start time. Mackenzie Gore gets the start against Christopher Sanchez, a lefty-lefty matchup. Gore 7-10 on the season with a 4.50 ERA. Sanchez 8-8 and struggling a little bit lately. He was able to, unfortunately, not really get things going for himself in his last start. He looked like he got back on track against the Dodgers, 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 run. And then against the Diamondbacks in his most recent start, that was the 12-5 Phillies loss. They got to him early and often. He went 4 2/3, allowing 7 runs, all earned on 12 hits. Not one long ball, though. And he issued 2 walks. It would be really nice to see the Christopher Sanchez that earned himself a contract extension in this particular start against the Washington Nationals. As for Mackenzie Gore, again, left-handed pitcher, 7-10 with a 4.50 ERA on the season. He is coming off a solid, no earned runs against the LA Angels. He went 4 innings, allowing 5 runs on 5 hits. Not one of them was earned. He walked 6, people. He walked 6. Previous to that, 5 innings, 5 runs, 4 of them earned on 8 hits against the San Francisco Giants. Earlier in the season, he faced the Phillies twice, once in April and once in May. Both times, the first time resulted in a Phillies victory despite him pitching well, 5 2/3, 2 runs on 5 hits. And then in May, when he faced the Phillies, he went 6 1/3, allowing just 2 runs on 3 hits. And that was a 4-3 Marlins loss in 10 innings. Previous to that, the Nationals lost. Previous to that, in April, he beat the Phillies and recorded the win. It was his first win of the season. So Phillies, we're going to be looking forward to hopefully keeping going what they've had going now for 3 consecutive games. I meant to look this up before the game, but while I have you, I'll just tell you, the last time the Phillies won 4 games in a row, it's been a minute. 3 games in a row is their best winning streak this half of the All-Star break. You got to go all the way back to holy Stromboli. June 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 8th. Wow. This is a big win for the London ruined everything crowd. So the Phillies swept the Brewers, then went to Old London Town and won 7-2, and that was a 4th win in a row for the Phillies. The Phillies have not won 4 games in a row since July 3rd through the 8th. 3-3. Yeah. Big win for the London Sucks crowd. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is Locked On Sports Philadelphia, Locked On Phillies postcast. Make sure you like and subscribe to Locked On Sports Philadelphia. We're breaking it down for you all throughout the rest of the Phillies season, and the Sixers schedule just came out as well, so I'll be with you guys for that. Also, in the meantime, once again, thank you for making this your first listen. Now go check out Locked On MLB podcast. Prepare for the Fall Classic with Sully, who has it all covered every single day. You can find the link on Locked On MLB in the description, so you don't need to search. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Once again, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Much appreciated. Make sure you hit like and subscribe to Locked On Sports Philadelphia Postcast. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow following the Phillies, hopefully taking care of business against the Washington Nationals. See you then.